and gentlemen, I'm going to call the October the 3rd meeting of the Franklin Board to order. The first thing I want to say is if you're here to speak to any of the two public comment periods, or the public hearings, or the public session, you need to sign up. And there's 3 sign-up sheets up there, so if you will, just sign in if you're going to speak to any of those, if you will. All right, the first order of business I need to ask the board to excuse Mr. Mashman. He's out tonight. Do I have a motion? Motion. Second? Second. All in favor? Okay. The next item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Mayor Ms. Avery.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Manager, would you check the sign-in sheets for me, please? And it's not, we have just one person signed up for public comment. I think if it's all right with the board, I'll just move the public comment period up before we get into the public hearing. Okay, Ms. Crownover, you're up, and we have a 5-minute limit on the public comment period.
Okay. I don't, first of all, I don't want
What did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry, hang on just a minute. The what? Yeah, adopt the agenda as presented.
And Mr. Mayor, there's, in addition to the reorder of the public session, which I think is a good idea, above the public hearings, we also need to add under 9D this
yes.
ordinance to adjust the street speed limits.
Right. Okay.
I move that we go add 9D ordinance to adjust street limits.
Second. All in favor? Okay, passes. Okay, Ms. Crownover.
Well, I heard a week on Saturday that y'all were going to tear down the pet store at one of the high schools and put a figure 8 for people to ride cars and stuff in. Is that not going to hinder the school education? That's what they explained it to me.
Are you talking about a roundabout?
I guess.
From Department of Transportation, is that what the hearing was about? Yeah.
No, I went to the pet store to look about getting another fish for Monday. And they said that they were moving, and I asked them why, and they said that y'all were going to put there's an 8 circles there for cars to ride in. And this circle for kids to ride those big loud cars, is what they told me. And is that not going to hinder the kids from learning at school?
It's one of the proposed roundabouts, but I don't think it's allowed kids to ride.
You know, that's what they told me. And another thing I have is why can't y'all clean up this town? I am ashamed of Franklin. I've lived here since I was 1 year old. And when I come to go to Hardee's and come back in town, all I see is dead trees, dead limbs, trees down in the county, and I'm in town. And city limits, and there's no excuse for that.
Right? Did you tell me a location of where those streets are?
Well, you can, if you come through town, you can see it on both sides of the road. I mean, you can't see it on the riverside. When you go that way, but you can see it when you come in town. I mean, it's a disgrace how it's not maintained.
I mean, if we've got some dead trees, we want to look at them, but I need to know where they are.
Well, there's so many, I can't, they've got a lot of dead ones in them and stuff. There's some right there close to Hardee's. There's some coming up towards town up this way, on this side of the street. And
about the roundabout, that's the North Line Department of Transportation proposal. And there was a public hearing. And you're perfectly welcome to express your concerns to the Department of Transportation. I don't think there's anything in concrete yet. It is a proposal.
they got that thing out there at the factory place. And that's I mean, this is town too small for all that kind of stuff. And all these potholes in town, they, some that I know it's been 15 years or something. I lost a couple of counties and I couldn't pull them out from here. And I got my brother out in Wichita.
if you will call and let me know, or someone who answers the phone at town hall, where the potholes are, we'll get a hold
Well,
of
I
you.
tried to get a hold of Jay and he never returned my call.
Well, it could be that they're on a state maintained road also.
No, they're inside the city limits.
We'll try to take care of it, you'll just let me know. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Appreciate you listening.
Certainly.
I ain't to pay taxes, don't get nothing for it.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Cause I'm doing without medicine and food and I don't like it.
Okay, did we,
We had to move some minutes, Bob.
I'm getting to there, just bear with me just a minute, Collins, if you don't mind. Okay, approval of the September the 6th and September the 15th town board minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the September the 6th and September the 15th town board minutes. And, do I have a second, a motion? Okay, a second? Second. All in favor? The next item of business is the public hearing for rezoning petitions for 1281 Georgia Road. I'll declare the public hearing open. Mr. Setzer, you're up, sir, to present this item.
Good evening, board, mayor. In your packet, you see a application for rezoning for Ingles Markets at 1281 Georgia Road. Ingles had to apply for this rezoning petition as part of the special use permit that you will hear shortly. But what they have requested is their zoning to be changed from C3 commercial highway, which is currently, to planned commercial development, or PCD for short. This rezoning petition was sent to the planning board last month, and they heard it in September, and they gave their recommendation for approval, as you will see in the packet in their findings of facts. Also in your packet is an aerial view of the property, which is just a little over 13 acres, where it shows where the flood plain is on the property, as well as the zoning map. This is probably, some might not be aware of what is in a PCD district. There is a snippet of the town Unified Development Ordinance with what is allowed in the PCD zone, which is much the same uses and very comparable to what is C3. Just the different changes is the PCD allows structures over 30,000 square feet, where C3 does not, unless going to a special use permit. And then lastly, you've got my staff report with what the planning board recommendation was back on 9/19, their recommendations for to be rezoned, and the findings of facts with their answers to the conflict.
All right, any questions from the board? Okay, John, is there anybody else that will get speaking on that?
Well, it's the public hearing, if anybody signed up.
Nobody signed up.
But as Cynthia asked, I will just review with the board that we talked about this a little bit at the last meeting. This is a two-step process that requires a legislative rezoning decision first, and that's what this hearing is about. That question is, do you feel like this property, and based on what the planning board has reviewed with it, should be rezoned to PCD? Is that a compatible use for that area, regardless of any development? So for that purpose, I want you to sort of put out of your mind what application follows it next. I know that's a difficult thing to do, but it is the state of the law. The next hearing is about the special use portion, and that's quasi-judicial. We'll read that if we get to that. So, Mr. Mayor, if anybody signed up.
Nobody did sign up, sir. So, are there any questions from the board of Mr. Secretary? Being none, I will declare that if I have a motion, declare the public hearing closed. Oh, I can just declare it, all right, public session is closed. Let the record show that it was 17. The public hearing for the special use permit for 1281 Georgia Road, I'll declare the public hearing open. Mr. Setzer, you're gonna present this, or do you want me to go through the summary first?
Yeah, go
The
through your
procedures. Yeah. All right, this is how this will work. We'll have the introduction of the hearing. We just introduced the case. I'll swear in each person who wish to testify in this case. And I need to ask the board, anybody on the board that has any conflict of interest, if so, in this item, declare it at this time. Any conflict of interest? Seems to be none. All right, if any of y'all have any, board members have any knowledge or prior information about the evidence that may come out during the hearing, let us know about it at this time. Is there any? Okay. All right, basically that is the order of the proceedings. We will have first testimony from the staff. This will be Mr. Setzer. The public hearing will be open. Testimony from the applicant. You guys are here to make your case. Testimony from anyone that's opposing an opposition, but no one has signed up. Additional staff comments and any discussions or motions the board has, and make a motion after the public hearing is closed. Okay, Mr. Setzer.
Mr. Mayor, I think it'd be appropriate this time to ask everybody who intends to testify
Sure.
to be sworn at once.
All right, you'll all stand. Just raise your right hand. You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth. Go ahead.
All right, before you is a special use permit for Ingles Market. This application for special use permit was turned in back on 7/19/16. It is for the property that is also located at 1281 Georgia Road, which is 13.03 acres and is currently zone C3. The applicant is Ingles Market, and they are proposing a 72,168 square foot grocery store with a 14,000 square foot retail shop and an 8-pump 2,000 square foot gas station on the site. You will see my staff report where this is previously, it went through a neighborhood compatibility meeting where letters were mailed to everybody within adjoining and 400 feet of the parcel, along as signs put out on the property. That meeting was held on 8/16, and then was then forwarded to the planning board, which was, they met on 8/25/16. The planning board met to discuss this, and did give a recommendation for approval of the development. Also in your package, you'll see the current aerial overview with the floodplain and the rezoning, or the zoning map. Then there is also in your packet toward the back a table for, as you'll see in the staff report, where Ingles Market has asked a change in the parking requirements for the property, as it's from their traffic, from the traffic study and their analysis, and other stores comparable in population and our size. You'll see in a statement from Land Planning Associates that they're requesting a lower parking, so would be more comparable to the size that would be used. There's not a waste of space on the property. And the planning board took this consideration and put it in their approval for recommendation. Of course, I've got the rough drawings of the plans here in your packet, but Mr. Preston Kendall and John Cox, the Ingalls and Land Planning Associates have a larger drawing. That is all I have at this time.
Gentlemen, if you would, you'll just, when you speak, you would state your name, just for the record. You got the floor.
No.
Mayor, my name's Preston Kendall. I'm with Ingalls Markets. This is John Cox with Land Planning Associates. Thank you for hearing us tonight. As Justin said, we're here to show a new 72,128 square foot building on the former Whistle Stop property. With 2,200 square feet of a gas station, kiosk, and a proposed 14,800 square feet of retail shops. As you can see from the, as you can tell from the from our site plan here, we have as you can tell from our site plan here, our building, shops, the gas station. This shows the trees, the parking islands, our entrance coming in the back, where our trucks will turn around, the entrance that comes in the side of the Zaxby's. We have a parking lot analysis study, which John will get up and talk about here just a little bit in a minute. We've been in this town for a long time. We love the town. The town's been good to us. We just feel like we need to bring a bigger, nicer Ingalls to this area. We've tried for a while, and we finally think we've found the right spot to do it. So, as you can tell, I know from in town, this is a little bigger. This is what we're going to look like when we get done with the rock, the brick, the stucco, the glass, the steel. It should make a very nice gateway into Franklin. I think when people drive down Georgia Road, they see this. It's going to be from Georgia. This is should be something nice for the city to be proud of, as much as we're going to be proud of it. Our gas station is the same exact way. You can see it down here with the rock and the brick. They just about match exactly between the store and the gas. As far as the features that we have with the rock and the stone and the brick. But we're also able to share more products with the town. Bigger store, pharmacies. We have our own restaurant inside the store that we haven't been able to offer here before. We have a larger beer and wine section. Which a lot of people enjoy. We have our seafood. That we have seafood here, but the one that we're going to put in this store is a lot bigger, has a lot more variety. We'll have our cafe seating area. We have plenty of tables for people to sit and actually eat. We have TVs up in there with the weather channel and the food network on. So it's a very pleasing atmosphere. Starbucks. You can come in, have a cup of coffee, sit in the seat, read a magazine, have free Wi-Fi, work on your computer whenever you like to do. So we think this would be a great match for Franklin for us coming in. I'm sure before John talks about the parking, I know that when we talked in the past to the board and the town about the DOT, everything that's going to happen with the DOT. We had some approvals, and I don't think they were all met the way that we wanted them to be. So we are working now and have been ever since the report came out, I guess y'all saw in the meeting the other night, with the DOT, and we're not gonna stop until we get the final yes or no answer. So, John, you'll talk about parking for a moment.
As part of one of the things that we are out of ordinance, and really the only thing is the parking. And we want you to make sure that you feel comfortable that we're providing enough parking, because obviously we want enough parking because we don't want people to ride to the parking lot and then turn around, can't find a spot and they leave. So, well, we are generally, and towns such as y'all all across North Carolina, South Carolina, are generally stepping down the size of their parking lot because we realize they're too big with all these wasted spaces. You're paving it, you're creating, a heat effect in there, and it's just not needed. So Ingalls has followed trim of that. It saves them money, I'm not gonna lie, because it's less asphalt, so we build less. But what we did was, we did about 6 studies. We've done 4 in North Carolina and 2 in Tennessee, and we just wanted to go and see how many cars are parking in our parking lot. And we wanted to know for ourselves so that we could come and speak in front of boards like this and give you real information. So we studied Fletcher, North Carolina, Long Shores Road in Asheville, Lincoln, North Carolina, Dallas, North Carolina, and then 2 in Tennessee. And what we found out was that Fletcher, North Carolina was the busiest of those 6 stores that we studied. And based on that, we basically came up with a ratio of about 2.53 per 1,000. So that, that comes out to, what, about 4 spaces per 1,000 square feet, something like that. Anyway, so the required parking per your ordinance would be 448 parking spaces for this site as it's laid out right now. The plan you see in front of you is 341 spaces, which is 170 spaces less. If we were to apply that same, which Fletcher is one of the top 10 stores in their fleet, if we were to apply that same ratio to that, we would only need 210 spaces, which is obviously 131 spaces less than what we've provided here. So we feel like there's plenty adequate parking based on our knowledge of that store and how it functions, and it's not that, it's about 65,000 square feet, and this is 72, so not that much different. And just to give you an idea that we didn't study this at 11 o'clock on Friday night, all 6 stores were studied twice, on a Thursday and a Saturday, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, at the busiest peak hours. So when we studied it, we were studying it at the worst time. And then we took all the stores and Fletcher the store. So that's how we came, and we think that we have plenty of parking based on that study and knowledge.
Do those centers have the same number of shops?
They don't, but the way the numbers that I have calculated were based on the square foot here, including the square foot of the store, the shops, and the square footage within the gas station. So, when I say that, we would need 210, that was multiplying the Fletcher ratio times just all of the square footage.
Was the study necessitated fines and ammunition to get this site approved?
No, actually we did. Well, it certainly is helping us, but we did 2 of the studies for Hendersonville, we did 2 of the studies for Asheville, and we did 2 of the studies for Lenore City, Tennessee, for other stores that we had, were developing as well. So, they had similar ordinances you did, it was 1 for 200 or 1 for 250, and, those stores were the same way. We didn't feel like we needed all that parking, and so we went and did the study for those. So now we're just using that data as it comes. We could have studied 2 more stores closer to here, but we didn't feel like we needed to do that. I mean, really 6 stores, that's a lot of data to pull from. So.
Any questions? I was just going to add one to that. I put there's a page in your packet. It's right after all the drawings of the development that I submitted in the packet. It's a snippet of our UDO. And if you'll notice at the top, on the right, it's section 152.093, which is F, which is flexible administration. Which is a statement in our ordinance where, through a special use permit, that staff and the town board we can waive or can change from our parking standard to not have a strict standard. And it states that if it's going to be a too strict of a standard or maybe not enough, then you can have a flexibility to add more or alleviate the parking requirement. So you not run into unused parking or not enough parking, however the situation might be. So, that's why I submitted that, which is, this would apply to as well.
Essentially, for planned commercial development, the idea is you do get some flexibility to accommodate a larger project than you ordinarily would have under the contemplation of the UDO, which, again, it tops out at what's the largest under a C3 square footage? 30,000 square feet. That's the largest you could possibly have unless you go to a planned commercial development. So, for that reason, it has some built-in flexibility in what the parking is. I thought that was important to point out to the board that this is not a variance. This is built into the special use process for planned commercial
So
development.
that was why I had them, so they had some documentation to support the change and not showing that they just want less parking just because they want to have less parking.
Well, they're wanting us to make some adjustments. I'm curious about the future plans of Ingalls. You're gonna have 4 locations, and they're anchors, at least certainly the one at Westgate and the one downtown, and then you still got the one at Holly Springs. Are we gonna open one of these and close some of those and have voids in those shopping centers? What's the future? Is this market protection? Is this what this is, trying to cover up another location to keep a competitor out?
We haven't figured out exactly what we're gonna do in Franklin completely yet. We knew we wanted a new store here. We bought 2 pieces of property here, not just one, we bought 2. We know we want a new store here. I think our goal number 1 was to get to where we're at today, so we could get a new store going, get it underground, break ground, get going, so we can decide what we're gonna do for the future. I mean, if we don't pass tonight, or everything with the DOT doesn't work out, then we're not gonna put another store here anyway. So if we put all the thought into working, what are we gonna do? If it does happen, well, we might as well wait till it happens and make the decision. So we haven't, I know of no plans that we have made in Franklin besides build the whistle stop.
Well, that's understandable at this point in time because the whistle stop hasn't been run off the ground yet, but certainly you don't plan on keeping 4 locations. I mean, you look at a store, you look at a town the size of Franklin, it just, when you get past 1, you start to stretch, and 2 is pretty tight. And we love the downtown store too. We love that.
Yes,
But it just, it looks to me like just trying to keep good old-fashioned competition out.
Well, we know that we haven't been able to offer everything that we need and want to offer to the town of Franklin. We don't have gas here. We want to offer gas to the town. Well, we offer points, but you have to leave town and go get the gas if you're going to use them. So we want to be able to offer everything, and our best place to do that right now is the whistle stop property we do own. We do own the property at the old Walmart building. But we thought that going to the whistle stop right now was the best choice for us to do.
For Ingalls, not necessarily for the town.
As far as the number of people that run up down the road, I think it was good for the town, but
Quick question, this is kind of a mechanical question. Since we're talking about the parking lot, is there any possibility y'all will use pervious material, which absorbs water and just let it just run off?
yes. John, you can answer that if you'd like to. Well, we usually don't in areas like this. We have used it before. It's really hard to use the pervious material when you have a real bad freeze and thaw, sleet, snow, freeze at night after. It's found that when the water gets down inside of pervious concrete or pervious asphalt, and it's just the water, and it's rained a lot, or it's sleeted or snowed a lot, and it hasn't filtered all the way through its base, and it sits in it and it freezes, then you get a lot of rust in it.
I was curious about that.
We have used it, and we do like, it's great, it's a great way to achieve pervious areas when you don't have all the land for grass. It's a great way to do it, but when we have.
And Mr. Mayor, if the board was interested at some point in looking at some more codified standards of what you expect to see in terms of pervious surface, that's something we can examine. I believe Justin looked at the runoff standards we do have, and the project met it, but we don't have much in the way.
I knew about that, I was just,
Well, this is
curiosity satisfied.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, any other further questions from the board? None whatsoever? Nobody signed up, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Thank you, John. Okay, new business. The first item is the board action on the rezoning petition for 1281 Georgia Road. Is there any further discussion from the board? Councilman, you want to provide a motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. If the board has a proper motion would be to adopt the findings of the planning board and approve the rezoning amendment, if that's the desire.
All right, is there a motion to that effect? Ms. McCray, you'll make the motion, and do I hear a second? And Ms. April, second. Any further discussion? All in favor? The next item is the board action on the special use permit for 1281 Georgia Road. Any further discussion from the board? If not, council, you have a motion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, again, if the board is the will of the board to adopt the planning board recommendations as far as the findings in 152 and 163A of the Unified Development Ordinance, and to grant the special use permit.
All right, and do I hear a motion to that effect? All right, and seconded by Ms. McCray. Any further discussion from the board? There being none, all in favor? The next item is the abandonment of the street name Whistle Stop Way. Mr. Setzer, you back up, sir.
Well, in your packet, you have a memo from, myself and Macon County 911 addressing, with the new development of Ingalls. There's a road that cuts through the parking lot called Whistle Stop Way, which is no longer needed, and 911 addressing is expressed that they'd like to have that name, I guess, abandoned, so they can take it off the books and do away with that actually marked road. Do that, so just needed a vote on that before they do that.
Any discussion from the board with questions of Mr. Setzer? If not, I'll entertain a motion to do away with what's the name Whistle Stop Way.
Now, would be doing away with more than that, wouldn't you?
The road end in there.
Can we just abandon, John, can we just abandon the road like that, just not see on? That's all you're thinking about property rights on this thing.
That is a good question. I thought it was just the name myself. What is the request exactly? To abandon the street?
The street, the actual street of that dedication, or do with addresses off of it.
I mean, practically speaking, it's gone, I'd say, but still though, John, there'd have to be some type of formal.
Well, I think that the county, the dedication can only be open with the agreement of the county. And I think it can be closed by action of the county.
Maybe you're right.
But as to what process there might be involved in that, I don't have that for you tonight, if there is any.
Can we say something? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
In all of our survey work that we had done and our search, there's not an easement or anything through there, so it must have just been a road that was there, so it's not really
It was originally, created for the old RV park that was through there.
That's what I was
And that's the way it runs through it down by where Cash is.
Well, let's abandon it. It's my motion.
So,
It never was a town road.
It wasn't town maintained street, no.
So actually, what we're talking about is just the name, is that correct?
Yeah, and give it 911, can't do away with it unless it's something.
All right. Okay, I'll call for a motion, somebody may want to change this, to abandon the street name. You want to change that, Mr. Collins?
If that's all that it takes, and there's never been dedication of the street, then I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Any further discussion from the board? All right, it looks like it's gone. Well, I thought y'all did vote. Okay. I didn't hear anybody otherwise. All right, the next item is, we need to designate a voting delegate for the 2016 North Carolina League of Municipalities Conference. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, what you have before you tonight is for the 2016 North Carolina League of Municipalities Conference, which will be held October the 23rd through October the 25th in Raleigh, North Carolina. And if the town board would designate a voting member for that meeting.
Madam Manager, I had a little discussion, if it's the pleasure of the board, we usually rotate this, and if Mr. McMahon would be so inclined to do it. It's basically what this does is you go to a meeting and you represent the town on the legislative action that's coming before the league, bring it for the legislature. Unless there's someone that'd rather do it, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mr. McMahon to represent the town. Is there a second? All in favor? Okay. Congratulations. Okay. Madam Manager, I think you have an update on the town of Franklin water treatment plant and expansion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, there's a handout that's been distributed in each of your seats. Last week, myself, our Public Works Director, Mr. Jay Gibson, and some associates with McGill Engineering from Asheville, North Carolina, met and had a pre-bid conference on September the 27th. And this is just for information for the board for the kind of a construction idea of the months ahead. The bid opening and submittal is due on October the 13th at 2 p.m. here at Town Hall. So this is just kind of just for your information where we are with the water treatment plant upgrade and expansion.
Good. I see it moving on here. Okay. Any discussion, any questions on this order? Okay, a couple of tax releases here. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, you also have another handout. All of these releases fell within the $100 or less, but if there's no motion needed, I just need to notify the board. 3 on 1, there was an AT&T Communications, DukeNet Communications, and MCI Metro Access Trans-Service. The total for all 3 bills was for $4.76, so we released that one. The second one is for Legacy Fitness, and the amount of $56. For some reason, that was billed twice. So that's just for information. Those were some of the tax releases that were waived this month.
Okay, we don't need a motion for that, just information. All right, the next item of business is the reappointment of Mr. Alvin Sutton to the Franklin Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Madam Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Board, in your agenda packet, you'll see a letter from the ABC store manager, Mr. Todd Mason. They're requesting to reappoint Mr. Alton Sutton for a 3-year term beginning October the 3rd through October the 3rd, 2019.
Okay, he's eligible for reappointment.
Yes, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to that effect to appoint Mr. Sutton to another term on the Franklin Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Any discussion from the board before we make a motion? I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Sutton. So moved. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right. Okay, the next item is surplus property at 546 Wilkie Street. Counselor, I believe you're going to present the item for us.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Board members will recall that at the last meeting, we passed a resolution to declare surplus of 1.91 acre portion of the property of Wilkie Street, the top of the hill there where the water tank is located down below that, due to an offer from Duke Energy to purchase the same. We have pursued that resolution under the bid process. There have been no bids received. And so I have distributed to you a resolution that approves that sum offered of $125,000 for that sale. It also, since we don't have a contract fully approved, it authorizes the town manager, the town clerk, and myself to review documents and enter into any other terms and conditions that might be necessary and to execute all the same to effect that transfer. So that we don't have to drag that on into another regular meeting. Happy to answer any questions you have about it, but if that's all understood, just take a motion to adopt the resolution as presented.
That's it. Do I hear such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Is this the copy you want me to sign, or do you want to know, is there another original?
That will be the
This will be okay. But sometimes I get when you read this real long. All right, takes care of that. Ordinance amendment regarding the appointment of administrative offices. Counselor, you back up, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This and the next agenda item have to do with a series of ordinance amendments that we want to try to hopefully move quickly through in the next couple of months. Our goal by sometime around the end of the year is to get ready to convert to an online hosting system for ordinances. I think, especially if you've had to try to read through the UDO, I don't know how Justin does it. There's so many holes in it, it's like Swiss cheese. It just needs time is coming to do that. This ordinance is a step in that direction. It does something that should have been taken care of quite some time ago. One of the few provisions that still don't reflect appointment by the town manager of administrative offices. So that's what this ordinance does for all the department heads. The remaining ones, the headlines are changed for. Again, happy to answer any questions you have, but the proper motion would just be to adopt the ordinance.
Right. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented by council.
Move that we adopt it.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, the next item is just informational at this point. I have given you, you and all the Aldermen drafts of ordinances. As I said, we're going to try to step as quickly as we can through an update process that will let us move toward a new arrangement for our code ordinances. These are not for action tonight. I'm going to try to take the burden off of that from these meetings of discussion and deliberation about these things. That's for your review, and if you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to let me know, but I'll ask you to consider adoption.
And that is your section D.
No, so that's 9C.
Okay, all right.
I just wanted to let you know, you have copies of those.
Okay, we modified the agenda for a section D.
Yes, sir.
Under non-legal, and Counselor, you're going to present that.
That's a final copy that I provided you with tonight is an ordinance that just simply effectuates the board's intent from the last meeting to implement the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit on Cherry and Denver-Alton streets. And, again, happy to answer any questions, but a proper motion would just be to adopt the ordinance and present.
Okay. Any objection? Anybody want to say anything about that, Chief? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to drop or to establish the speed limit 20 miles an hour on Cherry and Denver Street. Have a
A motion to adopt the ordinance.
all right. Motion to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, announcements. Getting to the announcements, the town board planning retreat, fiscal year 2017-2018. We're gonna do that on Monday, October the 17th, 5:30 p.m. here in the town hall boardroom. Any discussion from the board?
When is it summer that we need to have our idea? Are we gonna have more than,
It's certainly the will of the board.
how you expecting this to go, 2 or 3 hours, what do you think?
It's at least a couple hours. Yes, sir. And anything that the board and the mayor can think of that you would like to address for staff to look at in the upcoming fiscal year 2017-2018, please let me know so I can get it on the agenda. But I'll also reserve a spot on the agenda in case someone thinks of something on the day before, where we can have discussion from the board as well. But if you have ideas, please let me know so I can get it on that agenda.
Okay, any further discussion? I'll call for a motion to set the date of Monday, October 17th, 5:30 p.m. to our town hall, town board retreat here in the door. Is there such a motion? Second? Second. All right, any further, all in favor? Okay. Is the 20th annual pumpkin fest. Be Saturday, yes. Saturday, October, that's probably been at least 10,000 pumpkins. Saturday, October the 22nd, from 9 o'clock to 4 p.m. downtown. That needs no motion or anything, that is only a warning. All right, the National League of Municipalities, North Carolina League of Municipalities Conference is October 23rd to the 25th. There will be several of us attending that. This is the time when I go around the table and see if anything's on their mind. One thing that I want to bring up to the board, we're getting an awful lot of concerns from merchants about people who work on Main Street, maybe live above some of the buildings on Main Street, what have you, parking all day. We tried every way in the world, we tried persuasion and everything, and I think one of the things that we may want to look at the retreat is looking at a 2-hour parking ordinance. We tried every way in the world to ask people if they would please not park on Main Street if you work or live on Main Street. And point out 5, 6, 7 examples. I had the Department of Transportation do a traffic study. They've got these little devices they can nail down to the pavement. I don't know if you're aware of exactly how much traffic passes through this town and down Main Street, but I'm going to take a moment just here to talk about it. These dates were chosen at random, and they're all different dates. But down in front of the Lazy Hiker, on one lane of traffic, there's 4,438 vehicles that go down one lane. The other lane, 1,055 vehicles. And coming back up towards Harrison Avenue, 3,360 vehicles. So we have quite a bit of traffic. Then we looked at Back Street. We put out 2 sensors on Back Street, and the count of Back Street on a regular weekday, 6,774 vehicles went down Back Street. Oh, Palmer Street, I was just corrected. I'm gonna get me some more people. Okay, on East Main Street, the count in the 24-hour period was 6,134 vehicles. Harrison Avenue was 4,126. I don't know if we're gonna do anything with that tonight, but we'll probably discuss some of this at the retreat. So you can see there is an awful lot of traffic, and this wasn't even at the height of the leaf season either. So, moving right on, let's go around the table. Mr. Kinsey, got anything, sir? Mr. McMahon? Ms. McRae? Okay, good. Ms. Bagel? Ms. Collins?
Good.
All right, there being no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, second. All in favor? We stand adjourned.
Yeah, whenever I hear on the scanner, I was in the scanner and it says, actually, my phone.